Have you ever felt a gnawing sense of anxiety that just won't quit? A quiet voice in your head that whispers you're not good enough? That everything could go wrong? That you're somehow failing at the simple act of being human? You're not alone. In fact, right now, thousands of people are searching for answers, typing into the silence of their screens phrases like how to stop negative thinking, Marcus Aurelius, inner peace, toxic thoughts, stoicism, and how to control your mind. They're looking for a way out of the maze of their own minds. They land on queries like our title today, 3 Toxic Thoughts That Destroy Your Inner Peace, Marcus Aurelius. They're desperate for a map. And nearly 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor, writing by candlelight in a military camp, provided one. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and his personal journal, Meditations, is a lifeline thrown across the centuries. This isn't about dusty philosophy. This is a rescue mission for your peace. Let me tell you a story. Not his story, but yours. Imagine your mind as a garden. For most of us, it's not a peaceful, curated space. It's overgrown. Weeds of worry choke the flowers, vines of resentment climb the walls, and we walk through it every day, feeling the thorns, blaming the weather, blaming the soil, blaming the world for the mess. We search overcoming toxic thoughts and emotional resilience, hoping for a quick fix, a magic spray to kill the weeds. But Marcus Aurelius asks us to do something far more radical. He asks us to become the gardener, to finally see the 3 most invasive, toxic weeds for what they are, and to pick up the tool of our own awareness to pull them out, root and stem. The first toxic thought, the most common weed of all, is the one you're probably wrestling with right now: the fiction of future catastrophe. It starts innocently. A slight twinge before a meeting. What if I fail? A late-night spiral after a minor pain. What if it's something serious? A moment of silence in a relationship. What if they leave? This thought isn't about planning. It's about pre-living suffering for events that may never happen. Google searches like anxiety about the future and how to stop overthinking everything spike in the dead of night, a testament to this silent epidemic. Marcus Aurelius, who faced very real catastrophes, barbarian invasions, plague, betrayal, wrote this stark reminder: never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Think about that. The weapons of reason. Right now, in this present moment, are you being invaded? Is the plague in your room? Is your life in immediate physical danger? For most of us, the answer is no. The suffering is entirely self-created. A horror movie we direct, produce, and star in, all inside our own heads. We expend all our energy fighting phantoms, leaving us exhausted and defeated by a reality that is, in this moment, often quiet and still.
The weed of future catastrophe steals your present. It robs you of the sun on your face, the taste of your coffee, the quiet comfort of a breath, because you are mentally a year, a month, a week from now, battling ghosts. Marcus's remedy is a brutal, beautiful return to the now. Your power, your peace, your weapons exist only here, not in the fabricated future. Every time you feel that pull into the terrifying what if, you must plant your feet on the ground and ask, is this happening right now? If the answer is no, you have just identified the weed. And seeing it clearly is the first step in pulling it out. Which brings us to the second toxic thought, the one that makes the burden feel so unbearably heavy: the poison of personalization. This is the voice that turns every external event into a personal verdict. The The rain isn't just rain, it's the universe ruining your day. A terse email isn't someone having a bad morning, it's a proof of their disrespect for you. A stranger's frown isn't their own worry, it's a judgment of your existence. We search, why do I take everything personally, and how to build self-confidence, because this poison erodes our very sense of self, making us the fragile center of a hostile universe. Marcus offers a perspective so liberating it can feel like dropping a 100-pound weight. He writes, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own." He is not saying be cynical. He is saying stop being surprised. That person who cut you off in traffic, their behavior is about their rushing, their stress, their lack of awareness. It is a statement about their world, not a commentary on your worth. To believe otherwise is to hand the keys to your inner peace to every single person you meet, giving them absolute power to disrupt your garden with their moods. This poison of personalization is a form of profound egotism. It assumes you are so significant that every random event is orchestrated for or against you. Marcus asks us to practice a humble objectivity. See actions as actions. See events as events. Your peace lies not in controlling them, but in protecting your judgment of them. Their action is theirs. Your reaction is your kingdom. Guard its gates fiercely. When you stop personalizing the world's chaos, you realize most of it was never about you to begin with. And what a relief that is. And then there is the third thought, the most insidious of all, the root from which the other two often grow, the prison of permanent judgment.
This is the thought that says things are good or bad, terrible or wonderful, a disaster or a triumph. It is our relentless, automatic labeling of every experience. We don't just experience a job loss, we declare it catastrophic. We don't just feel sadness, we label it unbearable. This is the fuel for searches like how to deal with bad luck and why do bad things always happen to me? It solidifies fluid reality into concrete blocks of good and bad, and then we build our own prison walls with them. Marcus Aurelius, with the clarity of a surgeon, cuts to the heart of this. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Let that sit. Choose not to be harmed. He is pointing to the space between an event and your judgment of it, between the rain and your decision to call it miserable, between a criticism and your decision to call it devastating. This space is your field of power. The event itself is neutral. It is physics. It is action. It is what happened. The badness or goodness is a layer you add. The prison is built by your own hands. He constantly reminds himself, the obstacle is the way. A setback isn't a bad stop sign on your path. It is the path. It is the raw material for your strength, your patience, your creativity. A person causing you difficulty isn't a bad person ruining your life. They are the whetstone on which you can sharpen your virtue of patience, your understanding, your forbearance. The prison of permanent judgment collapses when you stop labeling and start asking, what can this make of me? How can I use this? So let's bring this back to your garden, your inner peace. You walk into it today, and now you can see the 3 towering weeds. The fiction of future catastrophe,
the tall, grasping weed that pulls your attention into the terrifying, imaginary tomorrow. The poison of personalization, the thorny, clinging vine that wraps every event around your self-worth, making you the target of a world that's mostly not even looking at you. The prison of permanent judgment, the deep, binding root that locks experiences into good or bad, building walls you then feel trapped behind.
The tools Marcus gives you are simple, but they require daily, gritty use. For the future catastrophe, use the shovel of the present moment. Dig your awareness into the now. Feel the earth, breathe the air. Ask, what is real right here, right now? For the poison of personalization, use the shears of objectivity. Snip the connection between an external action and your internal worth. See others' behaviors as statements about their inner world, not your value. For the prison of permanent judgment, use the pickaxe of neutrality. Shatter the concrete labels. See events as raw material, not verdicts. Ask, how can this serve my growth? How is this the way? This is the work, not in a day, but in a moment, and then another. You will see people searching for exactly this key. Stoic exercises for mental clarity. Marcus Aurelius meditations on peace. Control your mind stoicism. They are looking for the map you now hold. Your garden will not become peaceful overnight. Weeds are persistent, but now you know their names. Now you have the tools. Every time you feel that familiar anxiety, that sharp sting of personal offense, that crushing weight of a bad day, pause, look inward, identify the weed, and reach for your tool. This is how you reclaim your territory. This is how you build an inner citadel, as Marcus called it, that no external storm can breach. Not by fighting the world, but by tending with relentless compassion and discipline to the only piece of ground you truly command, the space between your ears, the garden of your mind.